Chamber of Commerce has been around almost the same amount of time that the city of Owen Sound itself has been around. And so I think that's pretty telling as to the fundamental role.
It's the voice of local business, and for 150 years, the Owen Sound District Chamber of Commerce has been there.
So I think it speaks to the deep roots it has in the community and the fundamental role it plays on behalf of business in providing business ideas among the businesses and also advocating on behalf of business.
When you think about how important business is to the community, you can understand why business people got together in 1864 to form the Chamber of Commerce and how that hasn't really changed today.
Well, simply put, the role of the Chamber was the same then as it is today, to support, promote, and advocate business in our community. Be heard, be seen, belong.
Owen Sound in 1864 was a community on the move. With a population of 2,400, the county town possessed everything a pioneer community could need: blacksmiths, coopers, flour and lumber mills, 2 newspapers, and a growing business district. So it was natural that the men of the community saw the need for a board of trade to protect the business interests of the town. The year 1880 began with storms so severe that R.A. Lyon, MPP, and another man who had been stranded in Tobermory walked the 86 miles to Owen Sound. Here they found a population of 4,548, a new waterworks, a new collegiate, and the soon-to-be-open Northern Business College. This was the same year that the Board of Trade was incorporated, with waterworks owner S.J. Parker as its first president. During the next few years, the board concerned itself with the state of shipping and railway service to the growing community, while commenting on international trade matters. By 1902, the population of Owen Sound had more than doubled and showed no signs of slowing down. The Board of Trade continued to support local business, and on July 1st, Chairman Christopher Eaton presided at the opening of the King's Royal Hotel at Balmy Beach. With accommodations for 250 and a 110-foot tower, this grand hotel was intended to signal the start of a new era of prosperity to the area, transforming Owen Sound into the next Muskoka. By 1912, the Board of Trade had taken on an advocacy role. Following an investigation of the employment situation at local factories, it sent a delegation of 3 members overseas to bring back a good class of English immigrant to work in Owen Sound. By 1914-15, the board had 228 members. A delegation went to Toronto to protest freight rates, which the board felt favored Collingwood over Owen Sound. The rates were changed. The same year, the board suggested that a return to agriculture might be the best way to deal with high unemployment. In 1920, the Board of Trade was behind one of the most significant changes in local history. It was instrumental in convincing the town council to incorporate Owen Sound as a city. At this point, there were 45 factories in the scenic city, manufacturing furniture, stoves, woodenware, and knitted socks. In 1923, it cost $5 a year to be a member of the board. The board spearheaded a move that year to have Owen Sound's parking bylaw repealed and rewritten, and it also began to push council to build an interswitching bridge across the river at 10th Street to give the CPR access to the new million-bushel grain elevator that was being built. By the time the Second World War came to a conclusion, change was in the wind, not just for Owen Sound, but also for the Board of Trade. The Chamber of Commerce movement was sweeping the United States. J. Irvin Brown joined the Board of Trade when he came to Owen Sound in the 1930s.
But I recall we voted at that particular time whether we would be more or less more modern, and it is mainly the industrial firms of Owen Sound join, and the retail businesses have over the years been, the main supporters of the chamber movement.
The modern chamber took over the promotion of tourism, agricultural, and business interests in Owen Sound. For many years, the chamber operated an office from City Hall, dispensing tourism and business information. One significant milestone for the chamber in the 1960s was the formation of the Owen Sound Industrial Development Corporation. Irvin Brown chaired the new venture.
At that particular time, Owen Sound's growth was maybe something that could be comparable to today, that we were in a rather a bit of a lull, if you might call it, and the flow of money was extremely hard to attract into this community. So the Chamber of Commerce decided to form its own organization, and we formed a company called the Owen Sound Industrial Developments Limited.
The Chamber sold shares in the corporation for $10 apiece. It raised $30,000 in capital, which was then used as seed money for new companies like HM Minegast & Sons, which manufactured hydraulic cylinders. The company was later purchased by Parker Hannifin. Unfortunately, all of the records of the Chamber's business before 1960 was lost when City Hall burned down. Eventually, the tourist information function was taken over by the city, and the Chamber again focused its efforts on promoting business and industry in Owen Sound. Often that work extends to promoting the community itself.
All right, everybody, smile! That was the cue at noon Saturday in downtown Owen Sound. Several hundred people gathered for a group picture of Owen Sounders as part of a promotion organized by the Chamber of Commerce in conjunction with the Street Art Festival. The group photo will appear on cards, posters, and calendars coming out next year commemorating the Chamber's 125th anniversary. Photographer Charles Van Alden was commissioned to take the shot. He went up wide lens and all in a cherry picker over 8th Street and 2nd Avenue, and on his cue, everybody put on a smile.
The Chamber is always seeking ways to ensure that government has policies that are favorable to business. That doesn't mean that we or that they have to agree that everything that business says, but we would certainly hope that government is always finding solutions to improving the business climate in a community. And this is what the Chamber would constantly advocate for. So that hasn't changed since 1864. It's as true today in 2014 as it was in 1864.
Bringing business together has always been a significant aspect of Chamber activities. Business After 5 and the Women's Business Network run throughout the year, providing opportunities to discuss common interests.
So the basic philosophy that underlines all the activities of the Chamber is to, for business to get together and to interact with each other and to have pride in their business and to hear from each other how important it is to the community to have a strong business climate. Business people get together and they share common interests. It's interesting how often people can learn from each other when we bring business together.
And there are 4 major Chamber-sponsored events throughout the year. The annual Mayors Forum brings together the 4 local mayors for discussion of issues that are important to business. The annual general meeting features a speaker of interest to the entire business community. In 2014, it was Brian Reed, president of Transcontinental Printing.
We've been operating in the city of Owen Sound since 1853. So we're in our 161st year. When we did our 150th anniversary in 2003, one of the things that one of the teams did was research companies that have been in operation in Canada in the same business for 150 years. And there was only 2 others that were longer than us, and that was the Bay, Hudson Bay Company, and Singer Sewing Machines. Were the only 2 longer than us. Right now we have 675 employees, 510 of those are full-time, and it's the biggest commercial printing plant in Canada, 400,000 square feet, so not just the biggest for Transcontinental, but it is the biggest commercial printing plant in the country.
There was a 150th anniversary summer barbecue, which included our 4 mayors as celebrity chefs.
Well, what's your secret, Al?
Oh, it's just cooperation, Richard.
There's also an annual golf tournament, which was well attended despite the rain and 9-degree temperatures.
And the winner is Bayshore Broadcasting Corporation 560 CFOS Mix 106.
The signature event for the Chamber is the annual Business Excellence Awards, which is held every fall.
Betty and Mac are just 2 of nearly 50 people at 279th Street East to make this possible.
So the key roles for the Chamber going forward is to encourage membership. The more members we have, it allows us to continue the advocacy work in front of government.
I think that the changes are going to be really big for the Chamber. I think they're going to become more and more involved within the actual government structure of our small community. The government needs our help, the business community's help to move forward. But what I also see is a lot of growth in this area. I see that there's going to be population that are going to move to this community wanting a safe, clean, healthy, happy environment with all of the facilities that we can provide.
I think it's is being the voice of its members in front of the municipal governments, the provincial governments, and the federal governments. Advocacy is going to be a very, very important part of it, and also to be able to meet and mingle and to help each other's businesses.
In the changing economy of the future, the role of the Chamber is going to remain the same as it has for the last 150 years, to be the true voice of business in our community. As our tagline notes, be heard, be seen, belong.